Did you know a cosmonaut knowingly flew to his death to save the first man in space? Vladimir Komarov discovered his Soyuz 1 spacecraft was fatally flawed before launch in April 1967. But his backup pilot was Yuri Gagarin, the Soviet hero. If Komarov refused, Gagarin would die instead. So he climbed aboard what he knew was his coffin. Within hours, everything went wrong. Solar panels failed to deploy, navigation systems died completely. The spacecraft spun helplessly out of control in the darkness of space. For 18 terrifying hours, ground control listened to his desperate transmissions. His wife was brought to the radio to say goodbye as he hurtled toward Earth. During re-entry, his parachutes tangled into a useless knot. The capsule slammed into the ground at 140 miles per hour. The impact was so violent it created a crater and burst into flames. When rescue teams arrived, they found only charred remains fused to molten metal. The photograph of what was left reportedly made hardened Soviet officials break down and cry. Komarov died so a hero
Did you know
could live.
Britain's most trusted family doctor was actually its deadliest serial killer? For over 20 years, Harold Shipman worked as a beloved physician in Hyde, England. Elderly patients adored him. He made house calls, showed genuine care, and always seemed available when they needed him most. But behind his caring facade, Shipman was quietly murdering his patients with lethal injections of diamorphine. He would visit alone, administer the fatal dose, then calmly forge death certificates listing natural causes. For decades, no one suspected anything. Why would they? He was their doctor. The death toll climbed past 250 victims, mostly elderly women who trusted him completely. He almost got away with it until one suspicious death certificate caught attention in 1998. When authorities investigated, they discovered the horrifying truth. Shipman had been injecting patients during routine visits, watching them die, then covering his tracks with false paperwork. The betrayal of medical trust was complete. Britain's healthcare system was forever changed, with new oversight protocols implemented to prevent another monster in a white coat. Did you know 900 people died in a single day because they trusted the wrong man? Jim Jones was a charismatic preacher who convinced his followers to abandon everything and move to a remote jungle in Guyana. He called it paradise, but it was actually a prison. On November 18, 1978, Congressman Leo Ryan arrived to investigate reports of abuse and captivity. Jones knew his control was slipping, so he ordered Ryan and his team murdered at the nearby airstrip. Then came the final manipulation. Jones gathered everyone and announced it was time for revolutionary suicide. He mixed cyanide into grape flavor aid and forced parents to give it to their children first. The audio recordings capture children crying as they died in agony. Those who refused were shot by armed guards. Jones himself died from a gunshot to the head. When authorities arrived, they found 909 bodies scattered across the compound. The largest mass murder-suicide in modern history, all orchestrated by one man's twisted vision of loyalty. Here are 5 things you didn't know about Idi Amin's reign of terror in Uganda. First, between 1971 and 1979, this dictator killed an estimated 500,000 people using torture methods that defied human understanding. Victims were beaten with clubs, had their limbs broken slowly, and were forced to kill each other for his entertainment. Second, at his residence in Jinja, Amin kept a pool filled with crocodiles where he would throw living prisoners. He would watch from his balcony as they were torn apart, sometimes inviting guests to witness the feeding. Third, Amin practiced cannibalism and kept the severed heads of his victims in his personal freezer. He claimed eating human flesh gave him power over his enemies. Fourth, in 1972, he expelled Uganda's entire Asian population, 80,000 people forced to leave in just 90 days. Families lost everything they had built over generations. Fifth, while calling himself the last king of Scotland, his secret police tortured victims with hammers and machetes in the State Research Bureau headquarters. The screams could be heard blocks away. Did you know a yoga instructor once turned deadly science into liquid terror beneath Tokyo? Shoko Asahara started teaching meditation in the 80s, but his vision grew darker. He convinced brilliant scientists and doctors to join his Aum Shinrikyo cult, promising them enlightenment. Instead, he had them cook sarin gas in secret laboratories hidden near Mount Fuji. They practiced their deadly plan with smaller attacks, perfecting their technique. Then came March 20th, 1995. Morning rush hour in Tokyo. 5 cult members boarded crowded subway trains, each carrying plastic bags filled with liquid death. They punctured the bags and walked away, leaving sarin gas to spread through the cars. Passengers started collapsing, foaming at the mouth, going temporarily blind. The nerve agent attacked their nervous systems, causing convulsions and respiratory failure. 13 people died that day. Thousands more were injured. Asahara believed this chaos would trigger World War III, bringing about the apocalypse he desperately wanted. One man's twisted vision turned a morning commute into a nightmare. Here are 5 things you didn't know about Josef Mengelé's horrific twin experiments at Auschwitz. First, he selected over 3,000 twins for his twisted medical research. Only 200 would survive to see liberation. The rest became victims of unthinkable cruelty disguised as science. Second, he injected chemicals directly into children's eyes, trying to change their color. Blue dye, methylene blue, anything he thought might work. Most children went blind or died from infections. Third, he surgically connected twins back to back, attempting to create conjoined twins. The operations always failed, causing gangrene and agonizing death. Fourth, he collected organs and body parts in jars like trophies. His laboratory was filled with preserved specimens from his victims. Fifth, he performed all surgeries without anesthesia on living subjects. Children screamed as he dissected them alive for his research. After the war, he escaped to South America, where he lived freely until 1979. The Angel of Death never faced justice for his crimes.
Did you know the CIA once destroyed human minds in the name of national security? In 1953, Dr. Ewan Cameron began his horrific experiments at Montreal's Allen Memorial Institute. He called it psychic driving, but it was pure torture. Patients like Linda McDonnell entered for minor depression and left as empty shells. Cameron would blast repeated messages through speakers for weeks while patients lay unconscious. He combined massive electroshock treatments with sensory deprivation and secret LSD doses. Linda forgot everything. Her name, her children, how to walk or talk. She had to relearn being human from scratch. The CIA funded it all through their MK Ultra program, searching for the perfect mind control technique. For 20 years, they turned psychiatric patients into guinea pigs. When exposed in the 70s, they tried to destroy all evidence. Most records were burned, but some survived. Victims finally received compensation decades later, but the damage was permanent. Science became horror in the pursuit of Cold War advantage.